Welcome back to the Kevin O'Connell Show. Joining me is my old friend,
Yeah, Kevin.
What up, Chris? I did your local show earlier today. We talked about a whole bunch of prospects, and towards the end of the conversation, you guys set me up.
Oh,
it was an ambush.
We had to ambush you.
And it was because of the post I made on social a few weeks back where I said,
which ruined my X feed for at least a week.
Well, I'll read it to you word for word just to so you're refreshed. Ja Morant is overrated by Grizzlies fans. Subpar from three, inconsistent defense. This year got to the rim a career low % of the time. Rarely healthy. Hasn't played in 75% of games in a year since 2021. Morant is somewhere around the NBA's 40th to 50th best player. Good, not great. Chris?
I mean, honestly, maybe your worst take ever.
Really?
I mean, come on, Kevin. When Ja Morant plays, they win, and they win at an extremely high level. Okay? They've won over 60% of their games when he's on the court, regardless of who the other four guys are. He makes everybody on the team better, and any season that he has played in, until last year where the season went to hell at the last, 4 weeks of the season, they were the 2 seed virtually the whole year. And they were the 2 seed the last year he was healthy before that. And they were the 2 seed the last year he was healthy before that. He has certainly not been available nearly as much as you need him to be available to achieve what you want to achieve. But straight talent-wise, look, if you have Ja Morant on your team, you're going to be good. And that is said about what? How many players in the league can you say they could make you good? If that's a true superstar. A true superstar is that guy's on the team and that team is good. End of story. Devin Booker's on teams and they're not any good. There's a whole lot of guys that are listed on your list that aren't the main guys. They're not the ones that control everything, and they're not dictating whether their team can win or lose these games. And is he available enough? I would argue no, of course, right? That's a silly argument to make. He has had bad luck for sure, injury-wise, and then made some bad choices, obviously, a few years ago. But if he didn't make the bad choices a few years ago, we're talking about a guy that's already been All-NBA twice. He's 100% making All-NBA that season. And then he ruined it, right?
Yes.
With the suspension
at
the end.
My concerns with Ja. I am concerned about the fact he's not getting to the rim as often. I'm concerned about the fact his three-point jumper is still incredibly inconsistent. I'm concerned about the fact that he's very up and down defensively. He had some great moments early in the year, some very poor moments midway through the year defensively. He's very up and down. So with Ja, you can't trust him to be on the floor. When he's on the floor, he's been he's not been at peak levels.
Let me take it one by one.
Okay, all right.
The first one is you've got to look at the last month of the season, right, where they did not have a ton of success as a team, but that was Taylor Jenkins. Like, he hated that offense. Desmond Bane didn't like the offense ran really well. It was amazing for guys 5 through 12, right? But for the best players, it was not accentuating them the most, right? That was a no-ball screen offense. And you look at the last month.
It's very unusual.
And go look at
it. It was unlike any offense we've ever seen in the NBA.
And go look at his numbers when they started letting Zach Edey set high ball screens.
Yeah.
Both
simple stuff.
And guess who else it unlocked? Zach Edey. Zach Edey was infinitely better after that took place. And so what I would tell you is I think you're going to see a radically different Ja Morant this year under Tomas Isolo, their new coach, because even in those games right before Taylor was let go, and then once Isolo took over, and then even into the playoffs, you saw a lot more of Ja Morant being able to be the best version of himself. I would argue that that a lot of those numbers are not a function of Ja Morant just magically getting worse. It was an offense that was an equal opportunity offense, of which, I mean, there was way too many possessions where he gets off the ball at the top and then he's just standing in the corner.
Well, unfortunately, he's not a reliable spot-up shooter, so he loses all value in those situations.
Maybe so, but I mean, look, it has developed at a slower rate than anybody wants it to. but it's not like he's miserable. It's not like he's a miserable three-point shooter. Right.
He's not making you fearful as a defense.
But it's not far off. It's not far off from being able to be fine, right?
And, of course,
you hit 38% instead of 34%.
Sure. You can always have late career development. Jason Kidd, all these older guards, they develop it over the course of time. Even like a Rondo type got a little bit better over the course of time as a spot-up shooter. What do you make of the Grizzlies, their offseason decisions? They sign Ty Jerome. They draft Javon Small. They draft Jemai Mayshak in the second round, 2 guards, signing a guard in Jerome. Is this about offering support behind Ja for if he's missing games, or what's the vision of this offense with all these guards?
I think you have – okay, so I think Mayshak and Small will probably just be Memphis hustle guys,
exactly.
right?
In all likelihood. But they're still guards nonetheless.
The Jerome thing gives you insurance along with Scottie Pippen Jr., who really came along
very, very good
last year, right? So now in between those, you've got multiple guys that can handle the ball. And I think one of the lessons of the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers, for that matter, was they wanted to find toughness and they wanted to find guys that can handle the basketball, right? So Mayshak is a super interesting case because I don't think that kid's not – that's an undrafted kid if the NBA season doesn't play out the way it does, right? But people look at it and they go, you know what? Like this whole – and you cover the draft a lot more than I do. This whole draft, it felt like the 3 things that people were talking about were wingspan, defense, and optionality, right? Because those were the lessons of those teams, right? Oklahoma City could play against Denver, and they've got to deal with this tremendous, big guy. And then they could have to go play against Minnesota, but then they could have to play against smaller teams. And the same goes with Indiana on the other side, right, where they were able to deal with different types of teams. So then that buzzword came in, optionality. But the defense and the wingspan thing, the lesson of and part of the Oklahoma City thing was I thought that people overlooked necessarily offensive detriment in order to say that this guy has the length and this guy can defend his position. Because what we learned is that Oklahoma City throughout the entire season, and then it even carried over to the playoffs, 25% of their points are off of turnovers. Well, you don't have to be a great half-court offensive player if you're able to create, right? Can you lock down your guy? Can you knock down a couple corner threes? But more importantly, can you create us extra possessions where we're running out the other way? Because anybody can hit layups, and so I do think that, like with the Smalls and the Mayshaks, and I just saw somebody just sent me another clip of another GM. Everybody's saying we want dogs now. Everybody's saying we want toughness
Elijah
now.
Martin in Toronto, guys like that. Yes.
Everybody's saying we want dogs, we want toughness, we want optionality. It's all code for whoever wins, right? Everybody wants it was great to be a big guy after Jokic won, And then Minnesota goes and they load up and it works out perfectly. But they face Denver a round early. And then New York goes, and they say, well, hell, we're going to have to deal with the Celtics. And they did. But they faced them around early. And then they had to deal with the Pacers. And so that's where the optionality thing comes in. But so many of these guys that even if they had some kind of offensive knocks, I think their stock ended up doing better if they were big and they could defend their positions, right? And so I think that's kind of what, I think they're done with small guards. You see that they're trying to move off of the Cole Anthony thing. So I think that and I also think that what it exposed is once Ja Morant went out, obviously Scottie Pippen was able to play. But, you looked around, you have one guy that could dribble the ball under duress. I'm saying when Kason Wallace is a foot from you, can you dribble?
And now you have a number of them that you can turn to in those situations. Ja on the bench or Ja sideline for any reason.
So it's always going to be a function of what beat you.
For sure.
Right.
It makes total sense. And I think what the Grizzlies did, they get a great return for Desmond Bane. Those picks, they could maybe flip those at some point if necessary. But you get Jerome at a really good price. He obviously stunk it up in the playoffs for the Cavaliers. But he still had a great season. And so you still like what he can bring. And for Memphis, look, I like the way they're building this thing out. It wouldn't surprise me if I vault Ja Morant back up my rankings next season.
I mean, at least ahead of Aaron Gordon and Spencer Dinwiddie or whoever.
I did not have him behind Spencer Dinwiddie. That's fake news over here. I had him behind Aaron Gordon, but Aaron Gordon has become a 40% guy from three. A higher volume
Aaron Gordon
shooter.
could never be the best player on a good team.
But what does that mean? Best player on a team.
There's not that many guys that can be the best player on a good team.
Yeah, but like you can
There's not.
You can be.
It's a short list.
You could be like the 15th or like the 20th best player on a team, but you can be the 30th best second best player on a team. Like Aaron Gordon is one of the best second, third best guys on a team. In the entire league. So, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, how do you stack those guys up? It's really comparing apples and oranges.
Right.
Really, they don't belong on the same rankings.
Right.
You're right.
Role players and stars
yes,
don't. You're
exactly.
right.
Like, you can't put Draymond Green on a ranking with other guys. Like, Draymond is its own thing.
Right.
Prime Draymond. Prime Draymond was probably like the 40th best player in the league, 50th best player in the league.
I would argue better.
Maybe better. Maybe better.
Because
But
if you're the best defender in the league, we just look at offense so much differently.
For sure. It's just hard to compare those types of guys. And so with Memphis, we're not going to see Cedric Coward here at Summer League. Sad.
Yeah, you're supposed to be signing autographs behind where we're
the
recording,
booth
but
right
he's
back
not even
there.
in town as far as I know.
I know. It's too bad. He's still dealing with that shoulder issue right now, seemingly knocking him out for all of Summer League. Hopefully back healthy. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
All these fans will still be excited for Armando Bacot, though, right?
Of course. And Gigi Jackson, year 3, still the youngest
No,
guy.
No,
on.
I think they're replacing Cedric Coward
really?
with Armando Bacot. I don't know.
They just pull someone off the street and say, "You look like Bacot."
No, he just played.
But with Coward,
Yeah.
hey, I mean,
You gave us an A++.
A+++++++++.
Unbelievable.
That's really what I sent my editors. I sent like 10 pluses.
You did.
Yeah.
We're all in on Cedric Coward.
What do you like about Cedric Coward, the basketball player? Forget the off court stuff, his mind. The basketball player. What do you think? What do you like about him as a player?
Freakish wingspan.
Those guys don't fail.
No, I mean they're just like that's how we first came across Cedric Coward. Hilariously, was Roser pulled a list of guys that were wing players drafted in the first round with wingspans over 7'2", and the list is just absolutely incredible. And Coward fit the mold of those guys. I love that he's worked his way to where he has become what he has become. Obviously, great head on his shoulders, but basketball-wise, it's the frame. It's the frame and the athleticism, right? Like the
shooting too. And 40% guy.
72% from 2 point.
Crazy. And it's not just
Zach
at the
Edey
rim.
didn't shoot 72% from 2 point.
And it's not just layups. It's like pull-up jumpers and stuff too.
72% over his college career from 2 point is a ridiculous statistic. Truly ridiculous. And he just does not take bad shots. He's figured out how to play basketball already, and it's almost like it's a nerd's dream, the shot chart. You know, when you look at it, it's like
threes and layups.
And efficient.
But he can use the mid-range, though.
Yes.
Like when I interviewed him, I asked him about, like, he's got these, like, really nice footwork on the turnaround jumpers and stuff. I was like, who were you watching? I'm expecting him to say Kobe. Yeah. He said Kobe, right? I mean,
that was who he loved growing up.
Exactly. And so he says he tries to model his mid-range after Kobe, and it's like it's sacrilegious to ever pull out these types of comparisons for players, right? It always is.
Right.
But with him, it's like I can't help but watch him and be reminded of Kawhi Leonard sometimes because he's got those long arms.
Right.
But then just the way he moves, he's like very economical with his dribble. He doesn't have like the flashiest handle. He's not the quickest or the most explosive, but he's just very smart with his limited movements that he makes to get into those mid-range jumpers, to get into his shot. And it's like as that develops over time, like it did for Kawhi, I would not rule out him being one of the 2-3 best players in this entire draft class.
I would love to have seen him here. It's a shame. It's a shame.
It really is.
I mean, I wish he. Obviously, you got to err on the side of caution when the kid's coming off of shoulder surgery.
A major shoulder issue too.
And he was obviously able to show enough throughout the workout or pre-draft workouts. But it'd be super cool to see him in a summer league setting, especially against a bunch of these guys that are either fighting for a job or, in some cases, there's a lot of good second-year players here this year.
Especially in the game Memphis just played. They
Yep.
faced the Celtics, who got a bunch of dogs.
Jordan
Hugo Gonzalez, Jordan
and
Walsh
Baylor
flying
Shireman,
around.
and
What were your first impressions of Hugo Gonzalez, the Celtics' first-round pick?
I think he's pretty good. I mean, I think he's probably a project, right? Like, I mean, yeah, he's raw.
Flew around on defense. He had a possession, like, really, I mean, I think he almost, like, fell over. He was working so hard trying to stop the ball handler, and he hit a three on the other end.
I think he looks to me like one of those guys that, like, I'm going to need to evaluate him next summer league.
I agree.
You know what I mean? To figure out what I think he's going to be. Another one, I'll give you another one, and I don't know where you were on this kid. Behringer, the one that got drafted by Minnesota.
Yeah.
Did you like him?
He had like 2 blocks on the first possession, 7 blocks in the game.
Did you like him?
I liked him. I was surprised by him as a pick for Minnesota.
So I was talking to a guy that was I was talking to a European scout I know, and I was asking him about like the Euros that he liked. It's always interesting to talk to these guys. Loved Denman. Loved Igor. Right? They view basketball differently overseas. He loved Igor, and then he brought up Behringer to me, and he said when he played on the U18 team, that's the first time he was ever told what a short roll is. He didn't even know what it is.
Which is like a year ago.
He said he started playing basketball 3 years ago.
He's very, very
He said
raw.
he was a soccer player. He's 6'11".
I know.
That's the one thing that stood out to me when I saw him. It's huge.
He moves like a soccer player, though, because he's so good with his feet. He can move laterally on the perimeter and switch.
I mean, if he could just finish around the basket and they could teach him how to play. Again,
and
another
he
really
needs
raw
to hit free
one.
throws. Like, he's like a 50% guy from the line. He's got to be a non-hackable free throw shooter.
I mean, he's raw, but I mean, good grief.
His defense is crazy.
He's long, too.
Active, and like I think with him, it's not just like it comes and goes.
Yeah.
He's always on with his intensity on defense. So I think he stood out for sure day one.
Because I didn't know. Cause these guys, I don't know. Hugo Gonzalez, I don't know. Sure. Behringer, I don't know. But when I watched Hugo Gonzalez today, I was like, all right, let me see him. Let me see him next year. Let him play a year of this American basketball, and we'll kind of get it. Because I bet he'll probably play a lot for the the main Red Claws.
The main Celtics now.
Celtics,
they changed the name.
Okay.
But it is interesting with Minnesota. They draft Behringer in the first round, and then another big in the second round. Gobert was involved in trade talks throughout this entire process for Kevin Durant. It's pretty clear to me that they are building this out behind Gobert for either replacing him when he's a free agent or making him expendable as a trade guy and having young guys at the center spot rather than a very expensive Rudy Gobert. I'm sure that must put a smile on your face, right?
No, I was going to tell you, why don't you ask A-Rod when you have him on? Ask him, like, hey,
I am having A-Rod on.
A-Rod, seems like you're trying to run Rudy Gobert, my guy, out of town.
My guy, I know.
Yeah,
you know he signed me a jersey. You know he's the greatest defender of our generation.
And then I want you to tell A-Rod that you still hate his guts.
I am going to tell him that.
You are?
Yeah.
From your childhood?
Yeah, from my childhood.
You say, like, hey, say, when you slapped the ball out of
I watched that on YouTube this morning.
Veritex? When he slapped the ball out of Veritex? Just
Arroyo. Yeah.
Oh, it was Brandon.
Pitcher,
Oh, yeah, Bronson Arroyo.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
When he slapped the ball out of his
What a Bush League move, huh? It really was.
You got to tell him.
It was so slimy.
I can't wait to watch
A-Rod
on.
Such a slimy move.
I can't wait to watch A-Rod on with you. I want it to be like your Jim Rome Jim.
He comes over and strangles
me.
me.
Your Jim Rome. Hey, be like, number one, what you did to my Red Sox was abominable. Just a slime ball move. Number two, how dare you get rid of my favorite basketball player ever, Rudy Gobert?
Even try. Even try to do it.
You drafted
Who do you think you are?
Behringer or Barnier.
I mean, it's only forgivable because it's another French center.
Yeah.
So I can forgive it.
Yeah.
I can forgive it in that case. So with Dallas, Cooper Flagg makes his debut yesterday. 5 for 21 in the game. A lot of great moments, though. What's Chris Vernon's first impressions of Cooper Flagg?
So, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I will never get out of my head. You will remember this because we were doing the mismatch together at the time. I came on the mismatch and I told you I saw the best 16-year-old I've ever seen in my life. I watched him have a EYBL game where he had 14 blocks in the game. And I'm like, okay. Like, to me, he is as sure of a thing as a sure thing can be. I don't give a damn what he did last night. Like, again, he reclassed, went to Duke, and was named the best player in college basketball that is filled. Like, Auburn's team is like 30.
They have a literal 28-year-old.
I saw Janai Broom, and I'm like Janai Broom was second in Player of the Year to Cooper Flagg.
He's 23, 24, I think.
And he looks 38, right? I mean, like, the idea that kid should have been a
Cooper
senior.
can barely grow out this thing on his chin.
He should have been a senior in high school.
Yeah.
And he was the best player in all of college basketball, which now is radically different because guys are staying because they can make the money. And it's better. Like, the players are better because they're older. And they all transfer. And so the teams that you saw at the end of the season, I mean, those teams are loaded. They're loaded. And it's like the best player from this team and the best player from that team and the best player from that team and the best player from that team, and they all end up on the same team, right?
It's a different world in college basketball.
I mean, you think about this. If it doesn't go, like, to harken back to what we were talking about earlier, if it doesn't go the way it went for Coward in the pre-draft, he's playing at Duke next year.
Next to Boozer.
I mean, you got to be kidding me.
I mean, they would be they are the national title favorites, I think.
And he would have made a fortune,
yes.
right? That what's the kid's name that's going to Florida that I told you I really like? I remember one of the last times we talked about the draft, and I told you I thought the guy was too low. Fland, Boogie.
Boogie Fland. Fland, yep.
He is going to make a fortune at Florida.
Yeah.
You know what they're paying that kid to go there?
It's crazy.
Some of the numbers they were throwing around, I mean, it's millions and millions of dollars.
Way more than what a second-round pick makes.
I mean, so this is all I'm saying is Boogie Fland in any other era is in this draft.
Yeah.
He's in the draft, right? He was a McDonald's All-American, the whole thing. He would have gotten drafted.
And that's what helped out the Mayshacks of the world move up into the second round.
He would have gotten drafted off of his high school talent, right? If nothing else. They don't even care that he got injured at Arkansas, didn't play enough, whatever. Team was better without him, all this crap, right? None of that. They would have just said, all right, we're going to throw away Arkansas. This kid was one of the best players in that entire high school class. This kid is going to be awesome. And they would have drafted him. And instead, so that's what I'm saying is the environment of which a kid that was supposed to be a senior in high school went and became the National Player of the Year. I don't care if he went 5 for 21, because the people that knock him for being 5 for 21, if the next game he plays, he goes 12 for 16 and has 36 points, it's not shocking anybody.
No, it doesn't. I want to bring it back to your point about NIL and how that changed college basketball. Isn't this a good thing for the NBA, though?
Of course.
Getting to see these guys for more years and see what they become over 2, 3, 4 years instead of just one.
Most importantly, and I mean this, you never know. Like, we were talking about this with Coward, right? We love his head. We love the athletic ability. We love the story. We love everything. You cannot know, and you can't predict how a guy is going to react. He just signed. He's going to make $23 million.
Yeah.
No matter what the hell happens. Are you fine with that? There is a lot of guys that are fine with that. That was the goal. I just hit it.
Yeah, can last a long time.
They just hit the lottery. No, they hit the lottery.
Yeah.
Right? They've already won.
Yeah.
Right? The ones that become the great ones, they're not in it for that.
Yes.
Right?
No complacency.
So that's what I'm saying.
Not the mission.
So that's what I'm saying. One of the things is you ain't putting money in these kids' pockets for the first time when they get to the NBA.
Great point.
A lot of these kids, they grew up and they didn't have a lot. And now, all of a sudden, I remember years ago, there was this guy that I interviewed. He was a GM for one of the teams. And his team, this is how long I've been coming to this thing, did not come to Summer League, okay?
Yeah.
Did not come to Vegas. They didn't used to have – every team participates now. Did not used to be like that. There was a number of teams that didn't. And I remember asking him, I was like, why is – because he had a big rookie on his team. Why are you guys not in Vegas? And he said – as long as I'm running a team, this guy no longer runs a team. He said, I would never take my team to Vegas. Because this guy was a former agent, and he said, I've never understood how we get a lot of these guys, they've never had money in their life. Then we give them $5 million, and the first thing we do is fly them out to Las Vegas. He said, you know how many markers I had to give clients over the years? You know, I'm saying, like, bounce forwards.
Yeah.
Because they had already blown money before they ever even had money.
Crazy.
And so I do think that is an element to it, is like the NBA, part of growing up is what you do the first time you've got money in your pocket and you've got more responsibility. These kids now, I mean, hell, they're getting money in their pocket. A.J. DeBanster was getting paid to play in high school.
$7 million at BYU now.
No, but he got paid to play his senior year.
Yeah. Yep.
So, I mean, he's already got money. I'll give you another. On the other hand, Mike Bibby's coaching this team in Sacramento State or whatever, and he's got Mikey Williams going. Mikey Williams was, nobody had more Instagram followers. And he was coming to play for Penny Hardaway in Memphis before the tragedy at his house took place, right? I don't want to say tragedy. Nobody died. But, somebody shot bullets at a car, and he ended up getting off for it, whatever. He went – do you even know what happened to him?
No, tell me.
He went and played at Central Florida last year. Did you hear his name?
Nope, of course
not. This guy had Rolls Royces and Lamborghinis in high school.
Famous Instagram influencer,
right?
Basically.
The biggest.
Yeah.
The biggest, right? He went to Central Florida.
Just like yesterday.
You never heard his name last year. Never once.
No.
He's now going to go play at Sacramento State, where Shaq's the GM and Mike Bibby's the coach. And maybe the kid gets it back on track, but I'm just saying, what is the – I remember when Penny Hardaway signed him, and I remember was having a discussion on our local show. What motivates you if you've got a Lamborghini in your driveway when you're a junior in high school?
It needs to be something more than that. You have to have that internal drive at that age where it's not about the rewards of the –
But I think it's hard.
It's hard for some kids, and those are the ones that are going to fizzle out. But for other kids,
I would argue it's hard for any kid with a Lamborghini at 15.
I don't know if that's true because some people didn't aspire to have the Lambo. They want to be a star.
Yeah.
They want to be the best player. It's like a true love for basketball and not a true love for what basketball gives them.
Right.
Like there's just like a
that's
difference
true.
between
No,
them,
I got it.
And that's like the tough part with like assessing these guys. You can talk to them and they can say all the right things, but sometimes it might just be word salad.
That's right.
Right? It's just the reality of it.
Oh,
like
they're trained. They're trained. They're media trained now.
For sure. Like you're not going to get into DeAndre Ayton's anymore saying, "What's your NBA goal?" To get to my second contract. That was the most honest answer anybody has ever given.
I know.
Right?
Yes.
Like it's hard to believe he actually said that, but I guess an oversight with his media training.
And that's the other thing when you were talking about like why I think this is actually good for the NBA. The other thing is guys were leaving after one whatever year of we can go back to the Boogie Flan thing. Whatever year at Arkansas, right? And he would 100% left because the goal was to get to the second contract, right? Now that's not like they can help a college team. So now they're actually going to become better basketball players because they're staying in college and they're developing into men and more responsible and their bodies filling out and like all those things. I think it's easier to evaluate those guys.
In some ways, it could make the draft a little less interesting, possibly,
sure.
in terms of like randomness. But at the same time, there's always surprises. I think there's always going to be surprises all the time in the draft.
It'll be interesting to see if we look back and like the guys that were drafted after their freshman year this year, like the Fears and like all those kind of guys, if they end up being like amazing because what they did was they showed us even as freshmen they could be really good in college basketball and that actually because in years past a lot of guys like there were a lot of freshmen that weren't any good. You can go back to even like I remember like Drew Holiday's year at UCLA was abysmal.
He still have a great career.
Great career.
You still have a great career.
Yes.
I mean, just because there's so many
But
factors.
I'm saying, like, guys don't do that anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
They
I don't think it's
transfer
going to happen.
They leave.
Yes,
like
and they don't go pro.
Stojakovic's kid is transferred for like the fourth time.
Who had a
already.
pitiful freshman season and like went like some of those. They were just college was always just going to be a one-stop shop. Yeah. They were going to go there for a year. They weren't even going to go to classes the second semester. Seriously,
I know.
I don't care.
I know. It really it does. I mean,
I think it's better.
NBA people for so long have said to me, like, ever since I've started doing this for a decade now, they're like, yeah, I wish we could see these guys for longer.
Yep.
For all the reasons we're talking about, not just on the court, not just player development, but mental development as well. And so this year, I mean, Brad Stevens had an interesting quote when he talked about the depth of the second round. He's like, well, this is the NIL, but I'm not sure it'll be like this every year because next year we'll see. Maybe guys stay a third year.
Yep.
Maybe they'll decide to leave after another year. Like, it's hard to know exactly how things will develop.
And I kind of think, that the second round, we look now.
They should add a third round, by the way. Too many guys trying to go undrafted. It like ruins the whole second round.
We look at the second round, though, and undrafted, I think much differently than we ever did before because we have to because, number one, they're great values if you hit them.
Yes.
But number two, you look at them and it was like guys never hit. Like it was very few and far between. If you got a second rounder, and then you look up and you're watching the finals, and it's Nemhard, and it's Caruso, and it's Dort, and it's like Aaron Wiggins,
even a Jalen Williams type, who played some important minutes for OKC in their journey there.
Bunch of guys, a ton of them.
And I mean J. Will, not J. Dub, the one who just got the max extension.
Well, and the guy that started at small forward for Memphis last year is Jalen Wells.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Yep.
And it's like, I think now there's going to be a bunch more of those guys, and part of that is they haven't made it, right? You kind of – sometimes I wonder if the second-round guys like those Aaron Wigginses, like those Carusos, like whatever, what if we would have put $10 million in their pocket immediately?
It's hard to know.
Right? It's hard to know.
It is.
But those guys had to fight for their jobs,
yep.
And so it created this, and now you're seeing – especially because you have to pay your best players $100 bazillion, you're seeing a bunch of those guys have like big impacts on teams.
I do think the meaning of going undrafted has changed because of how agents steer guys intentionally to go undrafted. Like we will always say Austin Reeves went undrafted, but really he would have been picked in like the 30s or 40s,
right?
If his agent had done that. Ryan Nemhard, who had a great first game for the Mavericks, 21 points, hit a go-ahead three-pointer,
5 assists.
Oh, he was awesome. He was incredible. Looked just like he did at Gonzaga last year. He steered his way to go undrafted.
Yep.
So it's like these guys that are undrafted, they're forever go down as undrafted. Well, kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
They probably would have been drafted in the 40s if the right team were picking there. But things have changed in the NBA.
I like it, though. And I think it's made for a better summer league, too.
I totally agree. I think so far the games I've watched, it's competitive. A lot of high-flying athletes and, like, trying hard, good effort.
They look more like men now.
Not just jacking shots.
They look like men now.
Yes.
And they actually, run an offense.
I agree. I totally agree with you.
It's crazy.
I know. It's different than it was when we first started.
Yes.
For you,
Kids.
before me. Whereas before it was just hero ball after shot after shot after shot. Disgusting to watch.
Kids and horrible basketball players. Honestly.
I know. And now it's a circus. I mean, you see all the people walking behind us. So many people come now. It used to be dead.
I know.
You could be able to sit close to the court, no problem.
Slammed here.
I know.
It's
awesome.
You see people, fans from everywhere.
Right
I saw a father and son that were walking in. One of them had you would love this. One of them had a Marcus Smart Celtics, and the son, Kemba Walker Celtics.
Kemba Walker.
Who's here.
Wow. Oh, Kemba's here?
Yeah. He was at the Adidas event last night. You know he's an assistant for Charlotte.
Yep.
I don't know if he's coaching their summer league team or not, but
pretty cool.
If you
we're getting old when Kemba Walker's starting to coach now.
Bro, if you ever see him, if you ever been around him, the fact that he was as awesome as he was at the size
he's like a normal looking dude.
It's unfathomable that he could have been awesome.
Because even Isaiah Thomas, Celtics Isaiah Thomas, he was wide.
Yes.
Like he had football player.
And he had long arms.
Yes, exactly.
They finished to the side or whatever. Kemba Walker's just not a big guy at all. Tiny.
Yes. Chris, thanks for joining me.
Good seeing you, man.
I appreciate you joining me.
All the way out in Las Vegas.
Oh my God,
and you're back on the East Coast now, huh?
I moved back to Mass. Yep, it's good being back on the East Coast. I was just tired of LA. I was ready to move back to Mass. I missed Green.
They wore you down.
Yeah, I don't know if it wore me down as much as
they did. They wore you down.
I just missed the Green. I missed being near friends and family, and even though I'm single and childless, it was more of a place to lay my roots than LA.
I got you.
You know?
You having trouble finding chargers for that car?
No.
You have Chargers
No,
everywhere
no,
in L.A.
no issues at all.
You can't spit without spitting on a Charger in L.A.
There's
You got to
there's
drive
plenty.
to Brockton, Massachusetts.
No, I'm not driving to Brockton anymore.
No. You don't even go back to the hometown, huh?
No, I'll drive through sometimes.
Yep.
But, I'm not living there now.
You're in Boston proper?
No. I'm outside of Boston.
Oh, you're just in Massachusetts.
Just in
Oh,
Mass, yes.
What is your exact address, Kevin? All right.
Verno, thanks for
All right,
joining me.
yeah, man. Anytime. Thanks,
Thank you.
brother.
Thank you.